Hello everyone and welcome back to the Java mini course. We're going to look at a demonstration here of our lab of working with arrays and strings. Let's first take a look at our objectives here on our left hand side where our instructions are. By the end of this lab you're going to learn how to declare, initialize, and manipulate arrays in Java, gain experience working with string methods to perform various text operations, combine arrays and strings to solve practical problems, and practice compiling and running programs in the online terminal. So let's go ahead and get started with this lab. Okay, I've gone ahead and put the code in the lab terminal. Our first step is we're going to write a Java program that declares and initializes an array of integers with values of 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25, and then print each element. So let's take a look at this code over here. So we have our static void main, or remember that's an entry point into a Java program. And then we have our declaration of an array that's declaring an array of integers and then initializing it with the values of 5, 10, 15, and 20. And now we're using a for loop to go through each element of the array and print it out. So let's go ahead and run the program by clicking on the execute button. And you can see our output here at the bottom is as expected, 5, 10, 15, 20, and 25. All right, for our next step, we're going to modify an array element. So I've taken this piece of code that we're going to modify the third element of the array. Remember, the arrays start with a zero-based index, and so our third element is numbers 2, and we're setting it to 50. So I've gone ahead and put this code into our lab terminal. And if I hit the the execute button, you can see it has indeed changed the third element to the value of 50. So again, you can modify the elements directly by using the subscript of the array element. In this case, it's the third item, which is item number 2. Might be a little confusing, hard to get used to, but remember, Java's arrays are zero-based for the starting element. Okay, for the next step in our lab, we're going to write a Java program that declares a string with the value "Welcome to Java Programming," and we're going to do a few operations on it. First, we're going to convert it to uppercase. Then we're going to find the length and print the length of the string out. And then we're going to extract part of the substring, particularly just the Java portion of that. So if you look at our code over here, here are the 3 code elements that are doing that. First, here's the initialization of the string, "Welcome to Java Programming." Notice that the value is in double quotes and then ended by the semicolon. And then we're going to convert it to uppercase. So we're using a new string, and we're declaring a new string, and we're setting it to the value of message.toUppercase. So that's one of the substring operations we looked at in the previous lesson. So we're going to find the length of the string, so we're going to declare an integer and look at message.length. And then finally, we're going to extract a substring. So the substring, we're again declaring a new string, and we're using message.substring, and it's the beginning number index and the ending index. So let's go ahead and execute this code. And you'll see our toUpper is as expected. The complete length of the string is 28, and then we've extracted just the Java portion of the substring. Okay, next we're going to split a string into an array. So I've once again gone ahead and copied this code from our instructions over to our lab environment. And you'll see the first part of this is, once again, initializing the string "Welcome to Java Programming." And we're going to split the string into an array of strings. And we're using the message.split function, and we're using the space as the delimiter. So each time it finds a space, it's going to invoke that split function. And then we're using a for loop to go ahead and print out the array. So let's go ahead and execute this code. And you can see now each word now is separated into that array of strings, and "Welcome to Java Programming." So it's a four string element array. So that's how you can easily use the split method to go ahead and split strings into arrays. So it might be very helpful if you have a lot of text that's all in one big string, but you want to operate it on it one element at a time. This is a way to do that using the split function. Okay, for the last part of this lab, we're going to write a Java program that processes an array of full names. For each name, the program should print the initials. And so I've gone ahead and moved this code over here. Let's go ahead and take a look. We've once again initialized our array of strings with the names of John Doe, Jane Smith, and Alice Johnson. And then we're going to have a for loop and process through each element of the array. But then for each element of the array, we're going to use the split function and split it into a subarray, which we're declaring here the parts piece. And then we're using the split function to load up the parts array, which should be the first and last name. And then we're going to use the char@at function to look at the parts, the first part and the second part, and we're going to use the char@0. So very clever programming here, and then we're going to go ahead and print out the initials. So let's go ahead and execute our code, and you can see it prints out JD, JS, and AG, which is correct if you look at these names. And so take the time to go ahead and try some different variations of this. You can try adding a comma delineation in here, and then change the split function to split on the comma. So you can try different variations of this. The best way to learn programming is through experimentation and practice. So that's it for our lab walkthrough. I hope it's given you a good idea of how to work through the lab. So good luck in the lab. I'll see you in the next lesson. Bye-bye.